Welcome everybody to the Tuesday Night Marketing COT. I want to thank you for spending such a beautiful evening with us. Now, you might be here because you're an officer. You might be here because you want to learn how to better assist your club. Maybe it's both. Either way, I want to especially thank you. You are stepping up and serving, and that is so appreciated. Thank you so much for doing that. Literally, Toastmasters would not exist without people like you. A quick thank you to our team, as you see here, Baxter presenting, Kevin hosting, and Amanda timing. So let's just quickly do some quick housekeeping. Sorry about that. You are being recorded. At certain times during the presentation or during the evening, watch on the chat for relevant links that will be posted. Please keep yourself muted when you're not actually speaking. Just to let you know, we are not going to be spotlighting. We really assume that by now you know how to toggle back and forth between speaker mode and between the speaker view and the gallery view. It's not like we haven't been doing this for 2 years, right? If your name says something like my second iPad, please change it so that your name is actually a name so we know what to call you. And last but not least, closed captioning has been enabled. So if you would like to see the subtitles at the bottom, you should be able to go down towards the bottom of your screen. It may be under more, and you should be able to turn on something like show subtitles. English, Karen, show subtitles. Okay. Our agenda is pretty simple. We're going to go ahead and put a link to the fancy version in the chat in case you want that. But basically, it's pretty simple. We're going to have a presentation starting any minute now on marketing by Baxter, Kent, DTM. And then we'll close up with some remarks from the trio and a couple of concluding exercises. And then we're going to be out of here by 8 o'clock. Okay, then on to our presentation. Baxter has been a member of Toastmasters since 2009. Currently, he's a member of 6 different clubs. And over the years, he has held all of the officer roles, most of them many times. He has also served the district in countless ways, only some of which include multiple stints of Starburst editor, area director, and division director. Also, last but not least, he is a past district director. I mean, that's about as high as it goes, guys, right? So please, I would like to leave you in the incredibly capable hands of Baxter, Kent, DTM. Take it away, Baxter.
Thank you, Karen. I need to adjust my screen real quick because some things changed when I started sharing. I'm assuming everybody can see my sharing. Perfect. So as Karen said, I've held a multitude of the club officer roles, and many of them many times. I even held the VPPR twice. So do I know everything about marketing? Not at all. But I've learned a few more things over the years, and in preparing for this, I've learned a few more things. You know, like they say, if you want to learn something, teach it. Now, did everyone receive the pre-session workbook and were able to at least familiarize yourself with it, even if you didn't complete it? If not, Kevin has put the pre-session workbook link as well as the session workbook link in chat. Go and grab them. You will be using them tonight. And the purpose of this session is to develop alignment between our marketing and prospective member motivations, as well as developing channels for communicating value to prospective members and to identify tools and resources you can use for marketing. So let's get started. I'd like for you to enter into chat what you think marketing is. And I've already given you a little bit of a hint, but I want to see where we all are. Go ahead. Just brief little things. Publicity, yes. Telling me what's in it for me. Yep. Advertising. What else? All right. Let me tell you what TI is telling us marketing is for our purposes. For our purposes, it refers to communication with a lot of different goals and audiences. And for this session, we're using marketing to cover all aspects of what we do to inform, enable, and entice prospective members to be aware of Toastmasters, visiting a meeting, and joining a club. Because after all, that's what our marketing is all about, is to get members to join our club. But there's also the with them. What's in it for the member? What does your particular club offer a prospective member, including and beyond the Toastmaster benefits that will entice them to come and see what we can do to assist them in achieving their goals? So here's our objectives for tonight. Effective messaging, aligning our marketing with prospective member goals, speaking to prospective members, developing the strategies for creating compelling communication, and identifying tools and resources. By doing all of this, club officers will be able to effectively demonstrate through marketing the value of their club to prospective members. Now, if you were to be given the opportunity to market your club on this billboard, what would your message be? Successfully recruiting new members is a function of good marketing. It's critical to your club's success. But membership retention is more a crucial factor if you want your club to survive. So not only do we have to market to potential members, we also need to market to our already existing members. What do we do for them? Again, what's in it for the member? And having a solid foundation of engaging our members will stimulate their growth, stimulate club growth, because prospective members will see meetings that are fun and hear about great member experiences that your club offers. How many of you read in the Starburst the article about the clubs celebrating anniversaries each month? I go out to club websites and I pull that information from there. Now, you might have noticed there were only 5 or 6 clubs this month celebrating an anniversary, but you've only seen 2 clubs highlighted. And that's because there's not a lot of information on their websites. We will help you by going through this session, come better at creating your effective messaging. So our first breakout room activity is going to be helping you craft the message. Through feedback from your members, the 2020 member goals report that you have in your pre-work, and through your own experience, we kind of have a clear picture of what members are striving to accomplish by joining Toastmasters. And this activity will help you in connecting what your club does to member goals. I'm going to let you know to be sure to have your pre-work workbook open so that you can refer to the concepts, and if you answered the questions, what your responses to the questions were. I also want you to be sure to note which room you're in, and then also assign somebody to take notes. It's going to be important, not necessarily for this particular activity, but for the next one. So here's the activity. You're going to go into the breakout room. You're going to select one goal that your group believes represents a popular goal for members of your clubs. Now you're going to have to come to an agreement on which goal that might be, because each club might be geared to a different set of folks, right? And a copy of this chart is found in your pre-work workbook on page 14 and in your session workbook on page 2. You'll make a list of the steps once you've identified the goal that a member must follow to get to that goal. Then identify how your club supports the member in achieving their goal. And when we return, I want you to share, one person from each group will share via chat the short message you developed. Now, it's possible that you've got several different messages, and if we have time, maybe we'll put all of them in there, but we'll have to see. Now, you're going to have 10 minutes for this exercise. So use your time wisely and quickly pick a goal. You can always go back to this later when you're working through this for your club. Mr. Zoom host, go ahead and put people in their rooms. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, we're back. What'd you guys think? One person from each group, put your message in the chat and note which group that it was.
Are you wanting to share just in chat?
For the moment, yes.
Okay.
When I work through this, I'm just going to chat while we wait for somebody to put their message in chat. When I worked through this, I found that it was really incredibly eye-opening to really think about my club, or I should say clubs, because I tried to think about all of my clubs. And each of them have a different purpose. I have one club that's a corporate club, which is very different than my once a month Friday club that is kind of a loosely termed free-for-all. And then there's my advanced club. And then there's my round the world online club. And you might say, round the world? Yes, actually, it was the first online advanced club Toastmaster ever had. And so we've been practicing online for longer than COVID. So room 2, confidence is foundational to all the goals that bring individuals to Toastmasters. That's a great start. That's a really great start. But is it compelling? That's really what your marketing message needs to be. It needs to be compelling. It needs to speak to the individuals you're trying to bring to your club. So it's thinking about the atmosphere of your club or the reason for your club's existence. Again, very similar to what I was talking about my online club. The reason we created it was because we were trying to push into the new age and say, what can we offer? Where's the world going? It's becoming smaller and smaller. Let's create a club that we can invite everybody from around the world. And lo and behold, a short time after, we needed to do that with all our clubs. That's Stephanie, that's fine. Really, it was great. So the room that Chandana was in, the goal, becoming an effective speaker. Everyone talks, but being an effective speaker makes it impactful. Toastmasters provides a platform to get the feedback, to become aware of filler words, etc. Practicing in a positive setting is exactly what most members look out for in order to become an effective speaker. Excellent. That's a nice, succinct message. How can you make it into bullet points now? Again, it's trying to get your message out there really quick and still hit the points. Now, I want to remind everybody that if you click on the little 3 dots to the right in the chat messages, you can save the chat. There's a lot of good stuff already in there and more to come. Save the chat. You will be happy you did. So let's move on. Crafting the message. Now, you demonstrated how your club supports a member in achieving their goals. And your marketing needs to show that you understand what problems or needs a prospective member has and give them the confidence that your club will help them with that. Again, what's in it for the member? So while the first one was sort of small and compact, almost too compact, the second one really expanded on it. So how do we speak to prospective members? And notice speaking is in quotes. That's because it doesn't just mean verbally. It's how we connect our message to them and how we deliver that so that it's got the right impact. If you work through the pre-work workbook, you will have seen an example of all the different member personas that are out there. Those are the people that are coming to our clubs. And you're going to choose one of these personas for this next activity. These are also included at the end of your session workbook, so you can refer to it when you're collaborating. Now keep in mind that the characteristics of each of these personas are likely two descriptions, which means they're not 100% in each group, but generally speaking, the folks that are in these groups share many of the characteristics listed for these personas. Now, I'm a little bit of a math nerd, and I looked at these percentages and I added them up and they came up to 101%. I'm thinking there's some crossover, but you know, we'll go with what they gave us. So sending the message. You're going to go back to your rooms. You're going to select one member persona out of that list. And that best represents your conglomeration of clubs, because I know there's more than one club in each of the rooms. And taking the goal that you selected in the previous breakout room activity, you're going to apply it to now who is coming to your club. That might mean your message changes. You're going to use the questions in your session workbook to guide your discussion on how to communicate your club's values to prospective members. And then this time you're going to select one person from each group who's going to share the takeaways and the key ideas that you come up with. That means you're actually going to speak this time, not just in chat. You'll start on page 5 of the workbook and work through page 8. Ready? Go. 12. Awesome. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you found that activity really helpful. I just want to point out that group 2 has put their messaging in the chat. So again, please save the chat so you see it. Group 1. Who's your speaker? Stephanie, excellent. Tell us what you guys had as key ideas and recommendations and results for how to pick the message for the persona.
There is a lot of notes here. We didn't finish everything because we just started chatting about all this and how it would work. And one thing that to start off with, we chose the persona, the social professional. We went with the one that was the most common, the biggest one, and it is the most universal one. Where they communicate is the workplace, social events, obviously social media, and we thought LinkedIn was probably the most appropriate one for that group. Microsoft Teams, workplace, blogging sites, WhatsApp, Meetup. As far as research goes, we weren't really sure what you were looking for there, but we, Google, Bing, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, you put any Toastmaster question in there and they come up. For entertainment, online, streaming games, Twitch, YouTube, TED Talks, social media. For offline, clubs, bars, professional events like workshops, seminars, and open forums. And brands, there again, we started because Monica's in our group and she's with Starbucks. So we like the Starbucks brand. We talked about the brand the symbol, the brand, the logo is just a logo, but what does it represent? When you see that logo, what does it inspire within you? You think of social time, meeting a friend for coffee or tea or pastry. Nike is to push yourself. You see the Nike logo and you push yourself. So what do you see when you see the Toastmaster logo? A lot of people don't recognize the Toastmaster logo. So basically we represent the brand when we go about all these places that we talked about going in workshops.
So let me ask this question. How would you describe the logo, what it represents for Toastmasters?
The Toastmaster logo
For your persona group.
for our persona group, well, I think it would be appealing with the tagline "where leaders are made." It is a little confusing in terms of it doesn't really describe public speaking, and that question has been hashed over multiple times, and we're certainly not going to solve it today. But being a social professional, if I were looking for something, you're wanting to succeed in your profession, the leadership portion would be attractive because you would begin to ask yourself, what could I learn here? What could I gain here? I think
Excellent.
then it's
Can I make a suggestion to think
Yes.
about?
Uh-huh.
So our logo is a world
Mhm.
with the web interfaced over the top of it. How apropos is that for the social leader? We're bringing it back to smaller, or not smaller, but back to being connected around the world. Great. That was excellent. Let's have the speaker from group 2. Who was that?
Hey, hi Baxter, that was me. We had a merging of groups since group 2 did not remain intact. We ended up with 50% new people, which meant we had a conflict in what our goals were. Not our goals, but yeah, our goals for the individual members. Originally it was building confidence. We ended up having to switch to an effective speaker when we talked about the persona, and the persona that we kind of settled on was the striving social professional, because we kind of had a mix of club persona types that were working on it, and that's when we thought, okay, the effective speaker is what the striving associate or the social professional would be looking for. So, and that was kind of the mid-range of what the majority of the club members were. And I would have to say for all the online personas where they would research information, I would have to agree 100% with everything that Stephanie said. And that goes for the communication methods as well. And then for Kirkland came to mind as far as Costco and, gourmet coffee, whether it's Starbucks or not, or some of the, things folks focus on. And we were talking about utilizing marketing materials to show prospective members what the club can help them achieve. And we were talking about the need to get more information out. And one of the members suggested a Q&A section of the webpage as part of the marketing materials to say what Toastmasters has to offer. I think that's a good idea. What are the ways that the members can help get involved in recruitment? We talked about word of mouth, because that's when there's a lot of false information on the internet. Not that Toastmasters has any of that, but word of mouth gets you face to face, and they can see in your eyes and your body language that you're being honest about the effectiveness of Toastmasters. And then using your club Facebook page to springboard and have the individual members repost it to get that out to friends and family, and as a further member of marketing, and definitely put heavy emphasis on the professional development pushes for improving your ability to perform your job, and that's an effective tool for business clubs.
Excellent.
So that's pretty much it.
Sorry. Those are all great
That's
ideas.
pretty much all we've got.
Perfect. Those are great ideas from both groups. And that's a lot of information. There's also a lot of various tools and resources, right? So we've identified who might be most interested in the goals that your club supports. And then we've selected or at least identified some of the different ways that we communicate with those folks to get them to come and at least visit and or join. So now, tools and resources. And for Toastmasters, we're lucky that there's a lot of tools and resources for marketing our clubs. Now I'm going to ask, and I want you to use the raise your hand capability in Zoom, which you'll find down below in the reactions. What tools and resources have you used or seen used that were effective? I know I haven't given you a list of tools yet, but Karen.
We have been using Meetup for a long time, and that always attracts a lot of guests.
Many of my clubs use Meetup as well. Who else? Who else has some idea of tools that you've used, your club has used, you've seen other groups use? Amanda.
We've got a LinkedIn page that we use, and we're starting to get some traffic with it and some interaction on the platform, which feels really good.
Great. Who else? Who else? Or are you just waiting for me to show you the list of various tools? Monica.
Excuse me. So a couple of the tools I've used that help to attract members is my Facebook, well, my workplace's version of Facebook, which is called Workplace. That seems to attract a lot of attention. And then, once I make one post, then I share it to the various different networks so that like everybody can see it. And then also just, bringing up Toastmasters in corporate meetings helps too. Anytime there's a spokespeaker speaker.
Absolutely. Bill, how about you?
Well, I was just going to say Beyond the Basics is a club that really doesn't cater towards new members as much as trying to get people who want to go beyond the basics. So we basically just cater to people either through our Free Toast Host website or through the Starburst. Those are our main outreach.
Is Beyond the Basics an advanced club?
It's considered an advanced club, but we accept anybody from in the community sense. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Rich.
We're a corporate club, so basically we are encouraging through word of mouth. We are currently in the planning stages of having kind of an open house, Toastmasters open house for the whole company. We're planning 3 events over the coming year. And because our company, our employees are separated into regions and our members are spread out through those different regions, it's a lot of word of mouth, and we're trying to always engage people and invite them to come and just to attend a meeting and see what it is, what the experience is.
Excellent. Can I give you a suggestion? My first club was a corporate club. And one of the things we did to entice our employees to come is we asked our CEO to come and speak and our COO to come and speak. And I'll tell you, we never had such a big audience when those 2 guys came and spoke at our club. It brought a lot of people in, and it allowed everybody to see that our executive leadership supported what we were trying to do. So you might consider that with your events.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Sure. All righty, well, here we go. So in addition to all of the tools that you all have mentioned, on page 9 of your participant workbook is a list. Now, if you have the soft copy, that list has clickable links and it will take you to various places within the Toastmasters website, as well as a couple of videos. Now, I will say, I went through the links just to make sure I knew what they were going to talk about and if they worked. And I found 2 links no longer work in that document. The first link that doesn't work is the Find a Club Best Practices, but I happened to find a same topic in the Toastmasters website, which Kevin has put in the chat. He's put that link there. The other link that doesn't work is the one called Social Media Workshop, parentheses, video. I could not find that link anywhere. So I did a Google search. And what I found was that there's a 6-hour full course on social media. Now, I haven't vetted that video, so please don't blame me for that one. But the link that I've asked Kevin to put in chat is a 38-minute video for Toastmasters that talks about social media and how to use it. So go and watch that one. I believe it was created from another district, so it's not Toastmasters International, but it was based for Toastmaster members. All of these, though, are great resources for you. And if none of these particular resources that are linked here inspire you, search on the Toastmaster website or Google it, because I'm sure there's a district somewhere in the world that has some additional information for you. Well, we've worked through identifying and developing your effective message, and you figured out how and where to communicate with prospective members. And we've looked at the resources and shared resources for how to get marketing done for your club. On page 10 of your workbook, there's a reflection activity, and I'd love for you to take that and do that on your own time and really think about your club and see what you can come up with. Kevin, can you drop the link in there for the survey for this session into chat? We're going to give you 5 minutes to complete the survey. Please do it now so you've got it fresh in your mind. And when you've completed it, put one thing, just one thing that you learned tonight that you'll use or take back to your club so that we know you're done. There will be a little bit of silence. So Brett's taking back, aligning the marketing materials with the interest of prospective members. Great. Karen's taking back, when marketing clubs think beyond what's great about Toastmasters as a whole. Nice. And what your club has specific. Julie says setting up LinkedIn for a club. Awesome. Marty's going to check out LinkedIn as a resource as well. Oh, that's got me thinking about Starburst and checking LinkedIn for clubs. Great. Monica's is how to get members to help out with recruitment. Nice. Stephanie's is making greater use of LinkedIn as well. Super. Chandana, the introduction of personas and prospective members in order to align the message. Perfect. Now I'm going to say perfect a lot because, you know, no idea is a bad idea. So Rich's club has historically relied on word of mouth, but, you know, leveraging greater extent of internal communications. Great. Like it. Corporate clubs can be a little bit harder to market to because it is a captured audience, if you will. So we've got 4 more folks to finish. Frank is going to look at persona types and the different messaging styles. Great. You know, I know we've all have taken it somewhere in our work lives, those personality tests, and those personality tests are really to figure out how to communicate with each other. So that's a great idea, Frank. All right. While the last few people are finishing, I'm going to go ahead and go down to my next slide. We'll let them finish as they're doing it. So what's next? Consider sharing these activities with your club. Have them go through the same process. Because just like, let's see, who was it? Just like Monica said, having members actually participate in the marketing effort is a great idea because we don't want to do it all ourselves, and we shouldn't. The other thing is to actively discuss marketing with your club. Many folks don't even think about it until they've been asked to be VPPR, because everybody knows that VP of Public Relations marketing should be the first and foremost of their mind. But everybody in the club should be thinking about it. And review the resources and tools that were linked in the document and some of the other things that everybody else has spoken about. Because frankly, it doesn't hurt to have more tools in your toolbox. Thank you all for your attention and participation. I'll hand this back to Karen.
Thank you, Baxter. I gotta say, that was really informative for me. That gave me a lot to think about, and I'm hoping that the same is true for the rest of you. We are going to now hear from the trio. They have some comments for your edification and amusement. So which trio member would like to go ahead and go first? Linda, take it away.
Thank you. What a great training. I always learn something new. Appreciate everybody that's here. Thank you, Baxter, Karen. Great job. So my announcement is about Super 7. That is the incentive that when all 7 positions of your club officers are trained, you will get the new dollar amount, $70 to spend on club expenses. And remember, you don't have to have 7 different people trained. You need 7 positions. So if somebody has 2 positions, just send that person and they'll get for double. So off to you, Tommy.
Thank you, Linda, Baxter, Karen. Thank you and your team for putting on a wonderful training tonight. Marketing is one of the things that's at the heart of club growth. So thank you and everyone for your time and participation tonight. International convention is coming up and your trio is going to be attending. An international convention means international business meeting. And that means every club has 2 proxies. You can assign those proxies to another Toastmaster who's going, or you can assign those to Tina, our district director. They will not automatically be assigned. So if you do not go in and choose who is going to represent you with that proxy, then those will go unassigned and your vote will not count. Your trio, we have spent a lot of time interviewing all of the international candidates, and we have selected what we feel is a super powerful slate of regional international directors to serve on the board. And your vote can help elect these because some of them have some great ideas that go along with some things from tonight in some of our other trainings and some changes that need to happen inside Toastmasters International. So register your proxy, assign it, and make your vote count. Thank you. Karen?
Thank you, trio, Linda and Tommy. Tommy, I have a quick question, or whoever might know. For the assigning of the proxy, do you know what the deadline is to do that assignment? And if you don't know now, if you wouldn't mind
August
looking
12th.
and letting us, August 12th?
August 12th.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Baxter.
Because really take this back to your membership, because my understanding is that it's either the club president or secretary who physically goes in and does that. So let your president and secretary know this has to be done by August 12th. Okay, before we go, I have a couple more comments. Again, Baxter, thank you. That was fabulous. Again, I really learned a lot. I had a lot to think about, and I think everybody did as well. So thank you so much. For all of you that are here, have you ever wondered what it takes to become an area director or a district director or part of the trio? Well, it's networking. And, before we moved to Zoom, networking was really pretty easy. You'd go to various meetings, you'd help out, you'd meet people, you'd get to talking. And now with us all being on Zoom, it doesn't work that way anymore. But we still welcome and need more people to get involved and to take roles and to become area directors in the future and all these kinds of things. So we need to adapt here at Toastmasters on how do we meet each other? How do we do that networking? So tonight, what we're going to do, Kevin is going to launch a poll, and on it, you can indicate your interest in helping out the district in various ways. You can also feel free to say, no, thanks, I'm not interested. That's fine. I do want everybody to answer the poll though, just so that we know everybody's gotten a chance to do this. And when he launches it, if you don't see it, it might be hiding behind another window. And what I want you to think of with this poll, this is not an obligation. This is not saying, I promise I'm going to be there next week. What this is, it's the equivalent of you go to a meeting, you see somebody across the room that you know is already involved, and you walk up and you say, hi, my name's Karen. Can we talk about what I'd like to do? It may work out, it may not, but I'm interested in at least talking and finding out what the possibilities are. And that's what this poll is. We really just want you to indicate, do you have an interest or not? And again, not is perfectly fine, but in talking to someone on getting further involved, taking a role, helping out at a future COT. Maybe you'd be the Zoom host. Maybe you would be the timer. Maybe you'll be an area director. Maybe you'll speak at our conference in May. I mean, who knows? So again, just if you're interested in getting involved or you're not, just let us know one way or the other. I can see that we still have a few people left to answer the poll. Again, we'd really appreciate the answer that you answer the poll, and no thank you for either or both questions is perfectly fine. I just want to make sure that you had a chance to actually see the poll and answer one way or the other. So we'll leave it open a little bit longer so we can get those last couple of stragglers in there. And while you're doing that, thank you for participating so much in the chat and giving Baxter and the rest of us such great feedback on what you got from the session today. Thank you for taking the survey. Thank you for your participation in the break rooms. It's really been a fabulous session, and I really want to thank you for coming. And I really think that's all I've got to say. Most of the people did answer the poll, so I think we're good. I think we can shut that down. And again, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great evening. There's still a little sun out there. Go get some vitamin D.